Hey, okay, people, good evening. It's the 3rd of February. I'm actually releasing this video a little bit late, a few minutes late after midnight here in England, in cold England. Hope everyone is well and you had a great trading day today. But anyway, it's the 3rd of February, like I said, and it's a kind of a unique kind of a market. I can't call it interesting, but it's interesting because either way you see, some people made bank and some people did not, I guess. But let's just the share it and see what happened. Okay, I think the white background is a lot better. Okay, so what do we have here? Today we could look at the cues. You can see how it played out. It's quite interesting actually because I like presenting the raw footage. Let's just see how it was, and yeah, we just focus on it straight away. But anyway, as you can see, the cues the cues is down today. I think yesterday, if you noticed yesterday, I said it was a new flow, fresh flow, and as a result, the markets went and turned around back to the old story. Because if you look at Dow Jones, uh, or let's just call it US 30, really, which is more or less the same. What did it do today? Just just barely, kind of not a lot happening there. And if you look at the Qs, but the Qs were all red. And in fact, if you really want to be downright um, desperate and you look at the RSP again. So it was an ugly, ugly, ugly day yesterday, but it was filled mostly by, a certain sector. And I keep saying the AI story is still very, very strong. But let's see what happened. I think Palantir from yesterday still carried on with the same momentum actually after a record month, but a record quarter, I should say. And you can see there it was a 6%, despite the ugly day in the market. Palantir was still fairly slightly able to hold, but of course it's still very weak. I can say also, we also had a few other things as well. Yesterday I did say there are new flows yesterday, but one thing is we need to understand is that February is one of the weakest months of the year. But again, value was outperforming growth, but not by a lot, not by a large mile, because if you look at some of them, and this is still growth, sorry. So you look at this growth and then look at this value on the other hand. Barely, kind of green. But I mean, I tend to look at this a lot. I've been talking about this since last year. He was actually a washout today. He couldn't really hold, but you could see it's ugly, but it's not as ugly as the other ones. I mean, if you look, I think the key story for today was PayPal. PayPal, whatever happened, the result was just not great enough. And this just got divided into five. And it was just a very, very, very ugly day. 20% shellacking, 10 points down from 50. We thought it was going to be bad, but we didn't think it was going to be this bad. Okay. And it's back to I think it's at a 10, well, 9-year low. So that's that one. Also, I did talk about T2 yesterday, Take Two Interactive. I did mention this in the group because I think DeepMind, Google company, they said they found a way where you could actually edit games. So I thought games is actually going to be poor, and you could see that Take Two. But again, coinciding with the earnings, would have been dangerous to hold the short into earnings. So that on its own was, I think they got a minor temporary reprieve right there tonight. Temporary tonight. I apologize, sorry, it's a bit late here. But if you look at Unity as well, which is on the same story, Unity, just to think last month was 50 and now it's been cut in half. So again, not a great one at all. So that's that one. Also, we talking about Oracle. Oracle just cannot catch a break. I think it's probably, I wouldn't call it the most hated stock, but no matter what they do, market just does not like it at all. And it's been collapsing. Look at that V shape down there, right there. So it's collapsing, taking it all the way back to May 2025. So it's taking all the gains from last year, all the AI gains, taking it away, taking it off. I think another one here is been talking about a few things. Yes, but one thing you've got to understand is look at the VIX. Look at the VIX. I don't want to put any trade in your mouth, but look at the VIX and look at what's been going on. I mean, one way you can tell, okay, look at the VIX, still quite very low. Look, I mean, we've been saying for a while that VIX has been extremely suppressed, but one way this has been one way you can tell that, value is being underperforming or outperforming is, Berkshire is my tag for value. And you can see, well, it was a horrible, brutal day in the market today. Berkshire was, it was 1% up. It was green. It stayed green. So that just tells me something about value, not, the rotation into value. Also, speaking of earnings, I think there's quite a few companies that reported today. And we could see here, what's the one? Apps, for example, quite a small company, but you could see the huge flow into that. That's the earnings. Do we see if it's going to hold tomorrow? I don't know. Another one is and phase. And tomorrow might just be a good day because it's all good news galore with Enphase. Also, we have SMCI, which I probably could mention. SMCI, yes, definitely. So all these guys are, they're brightening in readiness for tomorrow. But I think one more thing I was going to talk about is this one here I've been looking at for a while. And again, not just this one, it's just talk about crude oil, really. Crude oil. I think crude oil has been one of the most hated, and it got flushed yesterday. So the price action is just not stable. And likewise, cocoa. I mean, I'm looking at commodities. Again, it's still not very much stable. 4,000. Is this going to get a further washout? I don't know, but I'm just paying attention to this on the side. But um, overall, I think tomorrow, this is I mean, I'm not going to call it a small cap, but it's one of the most hated. And Snapchat, let's see how it goes. I've been talking about yesterday, I mentioned that would the memory story be one to be able to carry it into earnings and transform it? Because now Snapchat said they're charging for memories. We'll see how it goes. But I'm just trying to keep this very short. There's quite a lot of things that I could have said today or that went on. But let me see if we have another interesting earnings tomorrow before we can see. Let's just quickly see. Earnings. Look at the calendar. So today's the fourth. Well, tomorrow is the fourth. Right, we have Google today. This is a mega for the market tomorrow. Google back at all-time high. Eli Lilly as well. So these guys are the ones that will be carrying the market. I think also I've got to not forget Novo Nordisk actually collapsed as well today. This was the earnings. I wasn't even paying attention. I just saw it was down 14%, just literally a few minutes before I sold. So got lucky there, got a big escape. Again, all this AI story is not playing. I'm not exactly sure what's happening in the pharmaceuticals, but not playing. And I think one more thing was CoreWeave. I'm not sure what the earnings were, but I think when the market started playing the drawdown, CoreWeave literally lost its gains. But look, this has got another 2 weeks before they announce the earnings. So hopefully bulls step in there later on for this one. And finally, let's see. I think, okay, we are we have AbbVie as well, which is reporting tomorrow. This is quite strong going into earnings. But overall, we'll see how it goes with the turnaround. And I think as a result of Enphase, of course, Solar Edge is also lifting up, but very poor action, price action all around. But we'll see how these things go tomorrow. Hopefully, guys, sometimes when the market's like this, you got to learn to play defense. I mean, one of the defense I've been playing, been talking about this for a while, and somehow, market's been rewarding. That's all I can say. So, defense wins the game, no offense. It's all about the championship, and you want to be able to come back to play another day. But until then, guys, I hope to see you tomorrow on the field. You take care and